My little pony, my little pony. My little pony. Didn't know you are my very best friends.
Hello my little comic book ponies, I'm Critical Analysis and I just finished 2015. It has been one hell of a year. I started making videos about the pony comics in September and I'm already starting to gain an amount of fame. Mind you, it's minor compared to some of the bigger stars, but it's a start. I'm making it a year-end tradition to talk about certain things about my videos. This can range from mistakes to comments to just certain things in general. Unfortunately, this list will be pretty short this year since I've only been doing it for 3 months. With that said, let's begin my year-end review of 2015. Number 1. Spike and Zecora's Talk in Friends Forever number 21. Originally, I had said that the story didn't have a lot going for it, but it was pointed out to me that I was wrong. When Zecora and Spike were talking, they both felt like outcasts. Spike was the only dragon in town, especially the kind of dragon that acted more like a pony, and less like the jerks that he met in Dragon's Quest. And Zecora was the only zebra in town, even though the other ponies had accepted her. It's actually a really good talk that I had skipped in my review, and it's a good reason to pick up this comic. Missing that was my fault, and I'll try not to do it again in the future. Number 2. The Price of Comics. In Friends Forever 22, I noted how the price of the comic went up. It turns out that physical copies for all MLP comics have always been about $4. Why the digital price for Friends Forever was $1.99 for over 20 comics is beyond me. But this was a case of a difference between the physical and the digital that I never knew about. Number 3. Missing the point of Friends Forever. When I saw Sketchy the Changeling's review of Friends Forever 22, I realized that I missed something big. Friends Forever are like crossover comics, where the crossing characters should be interacting and given equal development in that regard without one dominating over the other. Unfortunately, Friends Forever 22 does this poorly. Pinkie Pie and Celestia spend most of the comic apart and not interacting with one another. This actually hurts the comic greatly as it dismisses the spirit of Friends Forever. As a result, my opinion on this comic has changed, and I cannot recommend it. And as a pony, I am allowed to change my mind, even on the internet. I think I was blinded by my attempt to cope with Fosgit's art, and that's how I missed it. I'll try not to do it again in the future. Number 4. Continuity Hick-Ups in Main Series 37. One of my points of contention was the sudden appearance of the Umbrum at the end of number 36, which spilled over into this comic. Turns out that there was an explanation for it. As mentioned in number 36, Sombra found the door a long time ago, but he never opened it for fear that he may be the only monster among them. It wasn't until Hope got hurt that he decided to open the door of darkness. With this revelation, I must also retract my issues with the comic's continuity with the Season 5 finale. Sombra had no reason to free the Umbrum until Twilight had injured Hope, which doesn't happen in this timeline. So that means my short rant concerning that issue with the season finale has to be retracted. It still doesn't make me like the finale, but it is one mistake to which I must own up. Number 5. Star Wars reference in Main Series 37. This was prompted by a tweet from Jeremy Whitley, the writer of the Siege of the Crystal Empire story arc, as well as other MLP comics. It turns out that any reference to Star Wars as a result of The Force Awakens was purely coincidental. I pretty much knew this already since I suspect that comic book writers prepare their stories months in advance. But his reference to Star Wars at the start was intentional. He did it, and I quote, off the cuff because the issue felt too dark for too long initially. Mr. Whitley, it works, but I don't think it worked in dampening the darkness of the comic. In fact, it enhanced it, and in a good way. The Umbrum are monsters. They threaten Shining Armor as leverage against Twilight and Cadence, but when Cadence gives in, they still petrify Shining Armor. In Star Wars, Alderaan was destroyed because the rebel base on Dantooine was too remote for a demonstration of the Death Star's power. That and because Tarkin is an But here, the only ones who had been affected by the demonstration of petrifying Shining Armor would be Twilight and Cadence. So the Umbrum threatened Shining Armor, got what they wanted, and then they still went through with their threat in what is probably an attempt to break the princess's spirits. There was no other reason to go forth with their demonstration. Like I said, Mr. Whitley, it didn't lighten the mood. It extended the depths of the Umbrum's treachery, which makes their karmic defeat at the hands of their own weapon all the more appropriate. Number 6. Judging the covers. When I judge the covers, I try to look for two things: how good it looks overall, and how well it conveys the story of the book. When I started reviewing the covers, most of them were failing in the latter. It later came to my attention that most of the covers that actually did the job well were subscription variant covers, which some physical stores can order. While it's nice that the customers of the regular comics are getting something akin to a variant cover, there are several reasons why this is stupid. It alienates the digital crowd that can't get this cover. The customer then has to rely on the store to get that cover, and this variant cover is not only drawn by the book's artist, it better conveys the story than the standard cover. Do you understand why this is so incredibly stupid? I can understand feeling special about having a variant cover, but they aren't supposed to be variant covers. They're supposed to be the standard covers. And if IDW thinks that using a variant cover is putting their best foot forward, then I will continue to complain about this practice until it is corrected. And number 7. This isn't a critical analysis. I actually had someone say that my reviews are critical analyses. By definition, a critical analysis is critiquing and breaking down someone's work in an attempt to understand it. But I never claimed that my reviews were this. Critical analysis is my name. I introduce myself as such at the start of every episode. This show has always been a short-form review show due to the nature of each episode's development. I post these on the day of a comic's release after I get home from 8 hours of work at my morning job. I don't get enough time with the comic to do a critical analysis. It would be very difficult to write, record, edit, and publish a short but entertaining, in-depth analysis in a buyer's guide review when you only have a total of 6 hours to work on it. So I opt to just do a short-form review. So I would like to restate this. Critical analysis is not what I do. It's just my name. What I do is short-form reviews. Period. With all of that off my chest, I think we can finally bring 2015 to a close. With a clean slate and having become wiser because of it, it's time to welcome 2016. So drink some cider, spend time with your special sun pony, hit the hay, and have a merry new year. Hey, thanks for watching! I do more than just comic reviews, so why not click that bottom video to go watch Cyber Angel Plays, where I play various video games. Or click on that top video to go watch my last review. And remember to click that like button and share on social medias if you enjoyed the episode, leave a comment below to help me improve the show in the future, and to subscribe to keep up to date on all of my latest videos. I'm Critical Analysis, signing out.